Away from landfall of this hurricane, and you're looking at live pictures once again. This is Manhattan, and this is perhaps just foreshadowing of more damage that we could be seeing over the course of the next 24 or so hours. This is West 57th Street between 6th and 7th Avenues, and the structure on the right-hand side of this residence, which, by the way, will be the largest in all of Manhattan, is clearly dangling. This is because of the wind. We're working on getting a reporter on the street who is standing very near that, and we'll talk to her or him about that. In the meantime, Chad Myers, let me just quickly go to you. Give me an update as far as where the storm stands.
Many trees down in Massachusetts already, getting reports in Rhode Island as well. Water flooding into Long Island Sound will eventually flood Manhattan. I'm sure that's going to go over the break walls there into Battery Park for sure. Many even saying that it could be very close to getting in the subway. The center of the eye right there, not that far away, we'll call it the center there. But this would be New Jersey right here. Here's Cape May. Here's Lewes, where the Lewes Ferry comes through. And it's going to be coming on shore somewhere southern New Jersey with the worst part of this storm right in the megalopolis, right through here. Now you have to understand, Brooke, the wind is going to be significant too, right through here. That's Wilmington, Philadelphia, that's Baltimore. There's the nation's capital right there. You're already feeling big gusts every time a storm comes by. But in probably 10 hours for you, D.C., 8 for Baltimore, 6 for Philadelphia, that's when your maximum wind gusts are going to be probably 80 miles per hour, maybe even higher in some spots, gusts higher, maybe to 100. Lots of trees down, millions, if not higher, tens of millions, I'm not sure yet, without power by the end of, I'd say, tomorrow night.
Okay, Chad, don't go too far. We're going to come back to you, but I want to bring in this guest who is to my right, who I have the pleasure of sitting next to here. This is General Russell Honore. You commanded the military in New Orleans post-Katrina. You know a thing or two about emergency preparedness and destruction of the scale which we will likely see. So welcome, and it's nice to see you. Before we talk about preparedness and the President's point about how they've been working so hard to pre-position a lot of these resources, let me just begin with this story off the coast of North Carolina. This massive ship, there were 16 people on board. Here's a picture of it. And it began to sink. And so there was a distress call, and the next thing they know, the Coast Guard ends up getting called in to try to rescue. Here are the pictures here from atop this Coast Guard helicopter. Tell me what you know. What do you make of this?
Well, this is what the Coast Guard does that nobody else can do other than some of the active duty military. Go out and save mariners. It's a part of their national mission. Nobody does it better. And thank God for the Coast Guard could get out there this morning and save the majority of the people. And the story's not over with on how that ship ended up in the location it was in, but they were able to get some of them out there, and hopefully this story will end better than what it is now. But Coast Guard did a fantastic job, much of that through advanced technology. We couldn't do this 60 years ago.
So because of that we have now 14 people who are A-OK. 2 people are still missing, so we're keeping close contact with a reporter who's been following this story. But talking about the military and all that they can do, how crucial, walk me through what these different sort of groups and jurisdictions are doing in anticipation of the landfall.
Well, let me say this, to start off with, this has been the philosophy of Administrator Fugate. All disasters are local. As we speak, local first responders are working their response plan. Up to this time, we've been doing a lot of what we call risk communications, advising people, taking actions to move people without rides, people in vulnerable population, risk communications, and preparedness and evacuation. So we've been dealing with strategy and tactics. This time tomorrow, we'll be dealing with the hard part, logistics.
Yeah.
And there was old saying, amateurs spend a lot of time on tactics, but real pros deal with logistics. We'll see who was really prepared from the government side at the local, state, and the federal partners tomorrow when we start reacting. I think they're going to be closer to 15 to 20 million people without power.
And who knows?
I think we really underestimated the impact of that, but that'll be a logistics operation. It'll have impact on people, infrastructure, folks in hospitals. And I disagree with what one of the previous politicians said. Most people who will be rescued tomorrow morning will be rescued by neighbors, not by police. There aren't enough police and first responders to go around. I would strongly suggest they go back and re-look that, because when the power is out tomorrow morning and the eye of the storm is moved off and we got power down and people need help, It will be neighbors helping neighbors who will save most of the lives.
So as you have the neighbors and General Honore, thank you. I want to move on to a story because we've been watching some of these pictures here. This is hours before this thing even makes landfall, and we were already seeing streets that look like canals, and in these canals, along the sides, you have homes, and there is a home, not this picture, but there's another picture, there was a house fire already, so this is just the beginning. This is the beginning of the wrath that is Sandy. That's next.